In the world of NCAA football, scores often tell a more complex story than simple numbers might suggest. This past week in the East, for instance, several teams showcased their strengths in breathtaking matches that had fans on the edge of their seats. Albright took a commanding victory against Widener with a score of 35-9, demonstrating a dominant performance throughout the game. Meanwhile, Amherst cruised to a 30-14 win over Tufts, highlighting their effective offense. In a nail-biting encounter, Assumption narrowly defeated Franklin Pierce, ending their game with a close score of 28-26. But here's where it gets controversial. The outcome was so tight that it sparked discussions about referee decisions and game strategy that could have shifted the result either way. Bentley engaged in a dramatic overtime showdown with American International, ultimately triumphing 41-34. Such close matches are always a thrill, reminding us why we love the unpredictability of football. In a total shutout, Brockport completely overwhelmed Hartwick, finishing at an astounding 56-0. Meanwhile, Buffalo State edged past Hilbert with a 15-8 scoreline, showcasing a gritty performance. Charleston, West Virginia also found success against Glenville State, clinching a narrow 31-28 victory, emphasizing the competitive nature of the game. Christopher Newport secured a convincing 41-27 win over Susquehanna, while Columbia topped Georgetown with a 19-10 result. Moving on to the match between Cortland and Morrisville State, Cortland emerged victorious with a strong lead of 48-3. Curry dominated Dean by scoring 52 points, while Dartmouth secured a hard-fought 35-28 win against CCSU. On the other hand, Duke had a straightforward game against Syracuse, finishing 38-3. Duquesne took on New Haven and won decisively, 44-18. East Stroudsburg's match against Lock Haven was a tight contest, ending with a score of 24-21 in favor of East Stroudsburg. The game between Edinburgh and Clarion ended in a spine-tingling 21-20 victory for Edinburgh, raising questions about how game conditions might have influenced the outcome. Elsewhere, Endicott easily overcame Husson, winning 48-14. Fordham faced Holy Cross in a close matchup that was decided by just 5 points, with Fordham winning 26-21. Framingham State played a gripping game against Bridgewater, Mass., ending with a thrilling score of 46-40 after overtime. Meanwhile, Hamilton secured a decisive 27-13 victory over Bowdoin, while Indiana, Pennsylvania dominated Seton Hill, finishing the game at 40-13. Ithaca managed to slip past Hobart with a narrow victory, concluding the game at 13-7. Keystone registered a solid win against Maine Maritime, finishing 47-22, while Kutztown overwhelmed Shepherd with a score of 49-10. Lebanon Valley won a closely contested game against Delaware Valley, winning 21-18, while Lehigh demonstrated their strength by defeating Penn 44-30. Louisville edged out Pittsburgh in a relatively close game, winning 34-27. Merchant Marine showcased their superiority over Norwich, delivering a 49-0 shutout. Misericordia triumphed over Alvernia, winning decisively at 41-10. In a game that emphasized defense, New Hampshire beat Albany, New York, 24-6. Plymouth State won against Massachusetts Maritime, narrowly escaping with a victory of 14-10. RPI's strong performance led them to a convincing 31-3 win against Rochester. Rowan took a lead against Lycoming, finishing at 34-23, while Sacred Heart clinched a close win over Delaware State, ending at 35-31. Shippensburg had a tense battle with Bloomsburg, coming out victorious by a mere 10-7. Springfield dominated MIT, finishing at 31-7, and St. Anselm slipped past Pace with a very tight score of 31-29. Stevenson finished strong against FDU Florham, demonstrating their prowess with a solid 55-20 victory. A lower-scoring game took place between Stonehill and LIU Brooklyn, wrapping up at 10-3. Towson managed to narrowly defeat Bryant with a score of 26-24, while Utica showcased their skill, winning 45-13 against Alfred State. Western Connecticut had a strong performance, conquering Kane with a score of 38-7. Wagner eked out a close victory against Norfolk State, finishing at 18-13, and Westchester comfortably defeated Millersville with a score of 38-7. William Patterson triumphed over Moravian with a significant 38-14 finish, while Yale rounded out the Eastern scores with an impressive win over Cornell, finishing at 41-24. Transitioning to the South region, Albany State Gala delivered a striking score of 57-14 against Allen, showing their strength in the division. Austin Peay also had a great day, taking down Utah Tech 42-10 with a commanding display. Chowan's match against Shorter was a nail-biter, ending in a close 30-29 victory, which has brought some debate to the forefront regarding clock management. In an exciting overtime finish, Georgia Tech edged out Wake Forest 30-29 that has fans buzzing about key plays. James Madison stepped up, defeating Georgia Southern with a solid score of 35-10. Methodist and Apprentice played a closely contested game, with Methodist winning 20-19 in a match many fans deemed a thriller. Presbyterian showcased their dominance with a 41-0 win over Moorhead State, while Randolph-Macon secured a decisive 24-6 victory against Washington Lee. Richmond found themselves in a tense battle against Howard, ultimately winning with just 1 point to spare at 13-12. Vanderbilt proved their prowess in a high-scoring match, defeating Utah State 55-35. West Alabama had a thrilling game against North Greenville, triumphing with a close finish of 52-44. Now, the Midwest region saw its fair share of action. Alma's battle against Hope culminated in an edge-of-the-seat overtime victory at 29-26. Ashland managed to overcome Northwood, Michigan, by achieving a 21-13 score. Butler and Marist faced off in a closely contested match, with Butler emerging victorious at 31-28. In another key game, Central Michigan secured a 24-13 victory over Eastern Michigan. Central State, Ohio, decisively put the pressure on Lane and took the win at 42-13. Cincinnati faced off against Kansas in an intense matchup, ultimately winning at 37-34. Further energizing their fanbase. Concordia, Wiz, battled through double overtime against Benedictine, Illinois, clinching a thrilling 28-20 victory. Dayton significantly outperformed Stetson, finishing with a score of 48-14, showcasing their talent. DePaul put up a strong defense against Wittenberg, resulting in a 28-0 win. In a tightly contested game, Illinois narrowly defeated Southern Cal 34-32. Kansas State had a similarly strong performance, besting UCF 34-20. Minnesota Duluth won decisively against Minnesota State, Moorhead, with a strong score of 28-14. Minnesota battled against Rutgers and clinched a close victory with a final score of 31-28. North Dakota State showcased their dominance, defeating South Dakota 51-13. Ohio managed to take control during their match against Bowling Green, finishing at 35-20. Worcester finished with a powerful score of 38-0 against Oberlin, underlining their strong offensive efforts in this game. In the Southwest, North Texas faced South Alabama and secured a 36-22 victory in a match filled with momentum shifts. Notre Dame delivered an impressive blow to Arkansas, finishing with a commanding 56-13 scoreline. This significant win is sure to have implications for rankings and player morale. Lastly, in the Far West, Mount Union faced Baldwin Wallace and emerged victorious with a 42-23 score, continuing their strong performance throughout the season. Each of these scores contributes to the ongoing narrative of competition and resilience that characterizes NCAA football, inviting passionate discussion among fans and experts alike. What do you think about these outcomes? Are there particular results that surprised you, or strategies you believe could have changed the games? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments.